How about I'm actually kind of curious about these enterprise customers, right? When I think about back when I was working in a bank, right? You always have to be on the network and a VPN and all this kind of stuff. And actually, what we found out is that at least the software we were building was actually for the C level people in the company. And those kind of people are the ones that always have to be out on the go, right? So the guys that they say their feet never touch the ground. I was kind of curious about you know, how like how useful has Flutter been for the people that you have to serve, right? Because for me, I think that to write down a contract, you have to be sitting at a desk with a keyboard. I can't imagine myself on my train to work and I'm just punching stuff in on my small little iPhone. Like, is your customers actually really using the mobile app a lot? Like, has it really been a key success factor for you guys, or is it just like a bonus offering? How useful has Flutter actually been for you guys?
Well, from what I've been hearing, it's definitely like more than bonus. So these people, they're on the road a lot. Sometimes they're waiting at the airport and they want to take a look at some of the documents before maybe like an important meeting, and that really help. But the behavior on the phone is slightly different from on desktop or web. So phone is more like view focus, while you do the editing on the desktop. So they may like look at a document and give a quick comment, look at the task and give a quick instruction to maybe some colleagues at the office to help them maybe finish this document before end of day, something like that. Like viewing and prioritizing tasks, but not necessarily creating like content on the go. More like viewing, yeah. But
I
that's
think
important
to
enough
follow
for
up
them.
on
Yeah.
I think to follow up on what Marco said, one aspect I think we're also sensing is that we are still learning what the habits are with the mobile app users as well, because um, we're seeing that, like, especially in China, it's a very critical factor. Like, we've talked to lawyers in China, professionals in China, and we've learned the degree with which they rely on their smartphones, which is far beyond what Hong Kong people are used to. Like, if I go into the office and in the lift ride, I'm looking on my phone, but by the time I sit down, I'm pulling out my laptop, right? It's not necessarily the case in China, where they may sit down and they're still using a smartphone and may actually have a smartphone stand and a keyboard to connect with it and start using that. So we actually got to fine tune our experience a little bit on the mobile app, and I think Flutter does give us the edge in this regard to make quick changes across both OSs.
That's quite interesting, right? So, from my experience, I mean, China's very heavily focused on WeChat, right? So, I can imagine they're asking you guys to somehow integrate with WeChat, maybe pull conversations in, right? Because these are lawyers. So, like, can you go more into the habits of mainland people? Because they're quite unique, I think, in how they, do their daily work. I just remember, like, when I'm working in the bank again, we had like China market and ROW, basically rest of world, and so it seems like they always do their own thing. So how's the experience been, and kind of like what's their habits?
Well, they do rely on WeChat for a lot of stuff that I think the designers of WeChat didn't intend to be happening. So they're using it as like a document management system in some ways, project management systems. Like, they have massive groups for teams that they're over like 200 people, and they have a massive WeChat group for that. And they actually use it to disseminate data and make announcements, and actually have like long discussions for project items. They carry all this work in WeChat, and they send and receive documents and store a lot of them there. But actually, a lot of such usage, in my opinion, may not be like the most optimal. Like, they may not actually be using the most optimal tool for the task on hand. So, in addition to like integrating with WeChat, we also, in some sense, offering them like an alternative for some like tasks, like storing the documents more properly in a more like version way, and like organize your projects a little bit better so that you don't take as much time scrolling through the WeChat contact list to find the information. Yeah, in some sense, we are trying to like influence the behavior to help like boost the productivity. Yeah.
I'm personally, I basically agree with what Marco was saying. Like that's our goal. But I'm personally, it's hard for me to say what the habits of mainland Chinese users are. Whatever I say, I feel like it could be wrong as well. The country is big, and I do feel that paradigms and patterns you see on Chinese like websites, web apps, and apps themselves are shifting a little bit as we speak, from what they used to be like and what they are. I feel like you see that with, for example, websites, whereas before, like maybe if you went to some of these Chinese websites, they were a little bit more like Yahoo back in the day, where there's a little bit of everything, on the landing page. Now, aesthetically speaking, they may have become a little bit more Western-like. It's a little bit more clean, a little bit more attention to design. So I'm unsure. I'm unsure about habits in China as well in this regard. I feel like it could be generational. It could be like just changing, and it's how you shape it. So I'm not sure how to even answer that accurately.